What's going on, LinkedIn world? Hey, we're part of our virtual visit sessions that you're going to see me start posting here more and more. And the goal of this is to really connect you and me and today, Gentry Taylor, and get all of our networks connected. Let everybody know about what our message is and how we can help you out and what's going on with our companies. So with that, hey, everybody, I would like to introduce you all to Gentry Taylor here with Fortinet and account manager that I partner with at Fortinet. Gentry, do me a favor. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and introduce Fortinet to the world?
Sure, Ed, I appreciate you having me. This is a fantastic forum. It's a great idea. For all of those of you who do not know who Fortinet is a cybersecurity company, very broad portfolio across the entire network. But at heart, we are a cybersecurity company. That's our bread and butter, and that's where we started from.
Good deal, good deal. So let's start out this way, Gentry. Tell me something about Fortinet that people may not be aware of from a solution perspective. I know you told us that you're cybersecurity, but really, what is your forte? Where do you guys shine?
Sure. So a lot of people aren't aware of the fact that we're actually a US-based company. We're actually based out of California. And another big thing that a lot of people are not aware of is that we actually manufacture our own chips for our firewalls. It's a huge differentiator for us. It allows us to have our firewalls do a lot more than I would say anything else that's comparable in the market. Our firewalls can do our SD-WAN. Our firewalls can also act as wireless and switching and routing controllers. It's really, really cool. It's kind of our heartbeat, as you could say, of our security fabric. And it's something that's not well known on the market.
Cool. You know, I've obviously been working with you. You just told me something that I wasn't aware of Fortinet. I did not know that you guys made your own chips. That's impressive. That's pretty good to know and definitely a differentiator for sure. Leads me to the next question. So I'm familiar with some of the other words and names that are out there in your industry and some of your competitors, but do me a favor, what really differentiates Fortinet from some of the other guys that are out there? What sets you apart?
Yeah, no. So one of the core things that you can expect to get with Fortinet, and it also is one of our biggest differentiators, is that we are always striving to put everything under the same operating system. Many of our products, not all of them, but many of them are actually built under the same operating system, the same operating GUI. So kind of going back to that first comment, when we built out our firewalls, as to say that heartbeat of our company, our firewalls can actually manage your switches. They can also manage and quarantine your endpoints with our endpoint solution. And they can also be that SD-WAN route back and forth through your environment and outside the environment with your incoming circuits. It's really, really cool.
You know, that's cool. I used to play in the wireless industry a lot. That's where my background was a while back, and that was always the Apple play and the BlackBerry play, right? They made the hardware, but they made the software, unlike Android, which made the hardware and then let everybody else do software and their own different things, so they couldn't have the control. So that's definitely a huge thing for sure. So security is obviously what you guys are all about, right? So what has changed with security and made it so much more important today than what it was 5, maybe 10 years ago? What's made that such a focus?
Yeah, so I think in regards to security, I don't think the importance of it has changed. I think the attack surface is what's been changing. I would argue that, back in the day, it was all about physical security, right? And not letting bad actors get into your physical locations, which obviously is still a threat today. But today, with our interconnected world, with our interconnected communities, I think we've seen different kinds of booms, right? At one point, it was about protecting the north-south of your network, right? Building up that fence outside your company with your typical next-generation firewall and not letting the bad guys get in. Now we've got new threats where, all of our employees are bringing in their own devices. They're connecting to our networks, and those employees, what devices they're bringing in, we have to be careful and protect those devices at the same time. So that's a new threat vector, for instance. Another one that we're seeing and running into all over the place is cloud. A lot of people, right? We want to put our applications in the cloud. We want software as a service, and it makes sense. And it helps our company scale. It helps them be more flexible. But at the same time, we're introducing a new attack vector, a new front. So I think we've seen security companies kind of change the way that they go to market now. Myself, as well as all the other major players in the security space, we've all got cloud options. We all have virtual options. And we all have on-premise options. And again, that's to constantly combat this changing environment and stay one step ahead of the bad guys.
Right on, right on. What are you seeing from the customer perspective from a management standpoint? Are you seeing more customers gravitate to either a carrier like myself and CenturyLink or Fortinet managing those devices and those applications for them? Or are you still seeing that they tend to want to manage it themselves and really have that control? What are you seeing in that aspect?
Yeah, so I'm seeing that in two different ways. I'm seeing companies who want the management because, in their words, and what I've had happen to me in a lot of conversations, coming from the partner side like yourself before joining Fortinet was, I don't want to focus on keeping the lights on. I want to focus on innovating my company. I want to focus on taking us to the next level, right? And that's what I want my IT teams focused on. I don't want them focused on, the daily run-of-the-mill gear. Now, I've also seen the other side of things too, where some companies are actually bringing people back, and they're bringing people back in, and they want greater control of that environment. Reasons that I've seen for that is they need to be more flexible, and they need to be able to change faster, right? They don't have time to put things through a contract. They don't have time to wait on an SLA. If, for example, something was to happen, they need to make a quick adjustment. So I've really seen it go both ways. I think I've seen a pretty strong rise in, what we would call co-managed services, where a client has access to their environment as well as that managed service partner. And that kind of gives you a hybrid there of both worlds.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So we're all obviously adapting to whatever the new normal is out there, right? And what COVID and the pandemic is doing to all of our businesses. And it's morphing daily, weekly, monthly on how we operate. How is it affecting both Fortinet as a company, but then also how your customers are using your solution from work from home and so forth?
Sure. So one of the really cool things about Fortinet is we have our VPN service is actually for free. You can go to our website right now and get it for the client. Our base level is for free. So we've seen a lot of uptick in that as clients have tended to go from home to use that free VPN service that we have available out there. We've also seen, internally with our own struggles, right? There's shipping delays across our industry. A lot of our warehouses, being in the tech industry, are based in California. So we do have to be careful and aware of that. I know there's been a lot of shortages with manufacturing around the world. We're very blessed that we run a lot of that ourselves, obviously, like we talked about earlier. So we haven't personally been hit with that. I don't feel like as hard as some of the others. As far as the client side, I would say, right, that uptick in the VPN, as well as the uptick in how do I move my workforce from being on-site to being remote, right? What's that look like? What is that pattern? How do I secure it? And how do I also at the same time make it functional? You have to understand, a lot of these end users who are working from their house, may not be able to, use or understand a lot of the same gear and equipment that you and I manage and run into every single day. So I think those are the two key points for them that we've run across. It's been great for us because Fortinet, I don't know how much you guys are aware of it, but it's one of the most scalable solutions out there. It's one of the things I think we're really proud of. We've got more firewalls deployed than any other company in the world. And the reason is because we have firewalls that are meant for your household, right? Something me and you could have at our house, or for what I would call a key power user, like a CFO, CIO, and their environment. And then we've got firewalls that scale all the way up to the enterprise that are in some of the Fortune 100 companies today. So I think we've seen an uptick in that too. A lot of these companies are trying to design that kind of hub and spoke environment where they've got these small remote little sites. Maybe it's a house, maybe it's a small branch. And then they've also got these corporate sites that they're still obviously having to maintain in some kind of a safe manner.
Right on. And I know we're seeing a challenge too with just the rollout of it, right? So because of the uncertainty, they don't know how long people are going to be work from home from a required standpoint, but then also we're really starting to see a shift of people are realizing the productivity that people are getting from work from home and the cost savings that are out there that unfortunately our commercial real estate people are feeling the impact of, right? And they're trying to determine what their strategy is going to look like for the rest of this year and then going forward, because frankly, I personally haven't seen my office since March, and it's been different for me personally. I like it. I feel I'm being more productive here, but surprisingly and shockingly, I haven't had a child or a spouse walking in our conversation here, so that's a good thing. Maybe I planned that a little bit, but it's different, right? So everybody, both from the end user to the IT staff, to the corporate level and the financial teams out there, are really trying to evaluate what the future is going to look like. So we're all trying to manage where that's going to take us. What does Fortinet, or what can Fortinet offer in that aspect, in the essence of, as people are trying to scale and determine how that is going to impact their business? What does that look like with Fortinet?
Yeah, so it's a good question. And we're getting asked a lot about right now automation and configuring remote and how does that work? It's something really, really cool that we do. So going back again to the heart of the company, with our firewalls, they actually they actually store the configurations for the APs and for the switches and the policies behind them, which is really, really cool. And then those firewalls can then back up to, we have a FortiManager product, right, that can manage multiple sites. Let's say you've got 50 sites, 100 sites, 1,000 sites. That FortiManager can manage the firewalls at every single site, the switches at every single site, and the APs at every single site. And then you scale that out to every single site being a house, being a branch, being a full-blown headquarters or regional headquarters building or a manufacturing facility. So what we've tried really hard to do is put the product like the FortiManager at the forefront of what we're doing, so that clients can manage everything across their environment in a single pane of glass and a single GUI, that they're not having to manage all these different areas, all these different panes of glass. Another cool thing too, right, by storing those configs back on the firewall, let's say your switch goes down, or let's say your wireless AP goes down. It's really neat. You just plug in the new one, plug in the serial number to the Fortinet pushes back down the config. So, right, being able to have levels of automation like that and being able to have key different deployment strategies, we like to say, single touch deployment strategies, have been huge. We recently had a client who did a, US wide SD-WAN deployment. I think it was 3,600 sites, and they did it in under 6 months. And how were they able to do it? It was automation, right? That's the only way they're able to do it. We've had clients do, 1,000 sites in months. It's just insane to me. But I mean, that's, I think, where our industry is heading to, right? We've got to be able to automate. We've got to be able to make it simpler, and we've got to be able to protect that entire attack surface.
Yeah, we're seeing the same thing, right? It's got to be versatile. It's got to be adaptable and flexible and quick and scalable. Speed in IT, just, man, it's warped in the last 5 years comparatively to where it was. So yeah, we're seeing that from our side. CenturyLink being a network carrier, or at least in theory being a network carrier, we're growing in that aspect as to how fast and how quickly we can deploy network and other solutions that we can do too. So it sounds like you guys are really seeing the same, and it sounds like because of you being a US based company, because you do a lot of your own manufacturing and things, it allows for that flexibility. And then my familiarity with FortiManager and what you were just saying really allows for that quick deployment. I don't want to say branch in a box type philosophy, because FortiManager can definitely quickly deploy that, but it also gives that ability to push things out on a rapid pace. So pretty cool. Well, cool. I appreciate you opening up some knowledge to my base and to yours about what Fortinet can do. Any other news that's out there about Fortinet that people may not be aware of that you want to share before we end this and wrap this up?
Yeah, I think just as you go towards the future, some of the things you're going to see from us is our consistency to continually try to bring our products, consolidate them together, make our portfolio smaller but yet wider at the same time. Keep putting as many of our products as we possibly can underneath that same operating GUI to make it easier to manage, to give that level of automation. And then the craziest thing that a lot of people don't know, but I expect this area of our business to absolutely explode, and it's already exploding. I believe we are the fastest growing SD-WAN vendor in the world. And I think, 2 or 3 years ago, we weren't even in the top 20. And we came out with it and we made it a part of our firewall. It's not an add-on license or anything like that, because we realize how critical it is to businesses and their infrastructure, and reducing costs with all these different MPLS versus internet circuits. And it's just been amazing. I think we're number 4 right now. So it's been amazing to see the growth in that segment of our business, and to see clients being able to really realize the cost savings behind that, as well as the optimization and the flexibility that comes with it. So it's been amazing. I love it. Love being here. I would tell everyone who hasn't checked out Fortinet, please give us a chance to talk to you. Right now, we're heavily focused on education. That's our big push right now in the market. We've opened up all of our training for free through the end of the year. So you can take any of our technical classes online at our website. And please reach out to me if you need help finding your local rep. I'd be glad to make the connection.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And to that point, I've been really impressed at how much Fortinet has just exploded in the marketplace in the last 24 months. I was familiar with you prior to then. In the last 12 months, my familiarity has just exploded just because of what I do in our partnership with you all. And you guys continue to grow and continue to unseat some of those other big dogs that were out there in the industry. And it's good to be part of that evolution of you all with us and in your company. So I really appreciate it.
Well,
Um,
listen, it's great to have great partners like you guys. We couldn't be successful, if we weren't able to work with you. So at the end of the day, we lean heavy on y'all, and you guys have been great to us. So we're excited about the partnership and excited to grow.
Excellent, excellent. Well, hey, I really appreciate you taking some time today, Gentry, to have the conversation, have this interview with me. For everybody out there that's listening to this, do not hesitate. If you're liking the message that Gentry is delivering, if you want to learn more, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to Gentry. Both of our contacts are going to be on the data that's or on the presentation for you. So don't hesitate. Reach out to us. We'd love to get engaged with you, have that conversation. If nothing else, use us as a resource to gain more knowledge, learn more, educate yourselves. If we can be a value add to your business, that's obviously our goal as well. So, Gentry, I appreciate you taking the time to do this with me today, and hopefully we'll connect soon. And everybody else, don't hesitate. Put a comment below. Let us know what you think, and get in touch.
Thanks, Ed.
All right. Thanks, Gentry.